What's up, guys? It's Corey from SuperKamiGuru9000, and welcome to my disturbing review of Bleach, Chapter 501. In this week's chapter of Bleach, we delved into some dark territory, some stuff that's almost berserk-like. Really sick shit, but a lot of cool action as well, and a little bit of disappointment, but something I know is going to be revealed shortly anyway. For all those people who wanted to know who was going after Urahara, well, too bad, you're not going to figure out in this chapter. But on the upside, we do get to go back to Soul Society, and we get to go back to the battle between Byakuya, and he's fighting against that one Quincy whose name I'm going to try and pronounce for you guys. I believe it is Asnot. And he's the real freaky-looking guy who has the spikes all over his face, and we learn a lot about his abilities this week. We can see that he has these arrows that he can shoot at you, and at first it seems like these arrows are actually poisonous because Byakuya is starting to slow down, he's starting to feel a little anxious, and things just aren't right. It's then revealed that he has the ability to install fear into people with these arrows, and basically, if you're like a low-level soldier or something, you don't have a lot of experience, and you're hit with one of these arrows, you're pretty much screwed, because you're just going to go insane and freak out and not be able to concentrate, and then you're just going to get killed. But Byakuya, on the other hand, he is just a stern, cold soldier, and he has a ton of experience, he's been through a ton of battles, and we've seen in the past that nothing really frightens this guy at all. He's just a complete hard-ass. And because of that, he's able to endure and he's still able to attack this guy. But in doing so, we do get to learn a little bit more about the deep-seated fear within Byakuya's mind. We get to learn what he's really afraid of. And that's when we get to one of my favorite panels of this week's manga. We actually get to go to Rukia, and they show this really nice picture of her. She's all happy and everything. And then the panel right below it just immediately, boom, changes into this like freaky picture of Rukia where her face is just melting, her eyeballs are like coming out of her sockets and everything, and she's all zombified and freaky, and the background is drawn in this like black style that just looks so disturbing, and like I said, almost berserk-like. It's just so freaky. So after we learn about the deep-seated fears in Byakuya's mind, we get to see that he's finally starting to lose his mind. He's going insane, he can't concentrate anymore. And then there's this other really ridiculous sick scene where he has all these insects crawling all over his body, and cockroaches and shit, and they're like crawling up in his mouth and stuff, and it's just really nasty and sick. Really disturbing stuff. And then all of a sudden the chapter comes to a final end where we get to see that Asnot is getting ready to attack him. And his attack just hits him head on, and you see all this blood just squirting into the sky, and it's kind of unclear as actually what's going to happen at this moment. Asnot says rest in peace as he's attacking Byakuya, but I guess you could say rest in pieces. So did SuperKamiGuru9000 like this chapter of Bleach? Hell yes! This was a great chapter of Bleach, and something that I wasn't expecting. And I should start to be expecting this stuff, because if there's anything that this arc has taught us so far, it's that they love skipping around to a bunch of different parts and leaving us at these cliffhanger moments that just freak us out and want us to keep reading. And, we didn't get to learn who it was who was attacking Urahara, or possibly helping him. And I really want to know who that is, but at the same time, I really enjoyed this week's battle because we got to learn more about some of these Quincy's and their abilities, in particular Asnot, who is probably one of the coolest looking Quincy's, I think, one of the more intricately designed ones, and his abilities are awesome, being able to instill fear in people and everything. He's like the Scarecrow, from Batman, but he shoots arrows at you. But still, I don't think Byakuya's gonna, go down that easily, but if he does, that's gonna be huge, man. That's a big deal for the series, because he's such a huge character. But it was interesting, the bit with Rukia as well. We've always known that they've had such a really close relationship, and, it's mostly hinted at. They don't explore it too often, like with a lot of detail. But this was really creepy this week, how they displayed that, when they showed the nice, cute picture of her, and then they immediately showed that zombified picture of her, which was incredibly detailed and awesome. Kubo, very good work. And, all the nasty shit they showed with the cockroaches and all that stuff. But the action and everything was cool, too, Everybody was drawn really great this week. And, I didn't even mention this stuff at the beginning with Ichigo, where he's just, like, freaking out. He's still caught in the cage and everything. And he's just trying to figure out what he's trying to do. But, this was a really disturbing and desperate chapter of Bleach, because things are not going well for the Shinigami at all. It's just not looking good for him. A lot of the biggest characters are going down hard, and, Kubo's doing really great with this art because he keeps us reading, and he's giving us all these great cliffhangers, and, I want to know what's going to keep happening to all these guys. So, I loved this chapter. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. You guys, if you're following the series, you got to check this one out. It's really important. And as always, guys, remember, if you like the video, make sure and give it a thumbs up. That concludes this review today, guys. SuperKamiGuru9000, out.